Thank you for joining Sports Development Series. We yours truly, Boma Ekiora.
Our Sportdev series is sponsored by Arewa Baobab Fruit Powder, one of the most nutritious substances on the planet. Get your Baobab Fruit Powder from arewabaobab.com.
Sportdev series, what's up, guys? How's everything going? So, recently there was an NBA game post-game conference where Kyrie Irving, guard, Dallas Mavericks, decided to wear the Keffiyeh. So I have people I know who've kind of argued for and against this. Some people have said it was a stupid move. Why would he wear the Keffiyeh? At a post-game conference, he was there to talk about basketball. Others have hailed him as, having bravery, and it was a really, really brave, courageous thing to do, taking a stand. So let's start with this. The Keffiyeh, I think, is a headscarf worn in the Middle East. Typically, I think it was created to people worried against heat, but it has since become a symbol of resistance by Palestinians against Israeli occupation. In this context, Kyrie was wearing the Keffiyeh at a post-game conference in solidarity with the Palestinian struggle and the recent conflict in Gaza. So, as I mentioned, there have been two arguments for and against this. I know people have said, what the hell is he doing? You purposely try to mess up your money, taking a stance for people you don't even know. And I've had the opposite. People have said, listen, kudos to Kyrie for taking a stand on something. So I'll start the argument, or with the argument, that it's a stupid thing to do, and that Kyrie is jeopardizing his future potential earnings by taking a stance with Palestinians. Some people have cracked jokes that Kyrie may not even know how to identify Palestine on a map. And he could arguably be maybe one of the highest paid players in the NBA if he didn't take these stances or make comments like he did. They've said things like, look, if Kyrie wasn't doing this, he would have more endorsements from companies, making more money to set up himself and his family if he just focused on basketball and the NBA. Not all these distracting issues that take him away from the reason why he's been given this sort of platform, because of his ability to dribble a basketball, right? So, there have also been arguments that he's picking sides, and he could possibly alienate those fans who may be sensitive to the Israeli argument, or the argument of the Israeli government. I have a guy who said to me that, why in the world will Kyrie support Palestinians when Arabs have historically been racist against Black people? It's almost like supporting people that historically haven't liked people that look like you. You're over here risking your entire earnings and future and everything else to support these people. So these are the arguments that have been made on that side. On the flip side, the people said, hey, Kyrie's very brave, and he's following the steps of the likes of Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and more recently, Kaepernick, that he's taking a stance for something he believes in, even though that stance could come at great financial risk, or even, personal risk, because his name could get tarnished. So they deem what he's doing is very brave. He's very courageous, taking this stance. And if you look at all the other athletes that took stances similar to his, they were very unpopular at the time. Whether it's Ali, Jim Brown, we all know what Kaepernick went through. They weren't popular. People didn't like them. People didn't like the stances. They didn't like what they were saying, And in this case as well, Kyrie's stance, whether some people believe it or not, is not the mainstream stance in the United States. Taking a stance and wearing a keffiyeh at an NBA post-game conference is not what you typically see. And so these people believe he's taking, the direction of justice, equal rights, and fighting for decency in an already insane, mad world. And that, keeping quiet, not rocking the boat is the easy, coward thing to do. And just earning my NBA money, not using my platform for something big that could maybe have a ceasefire or prevent more loss of lives. So they hail him. They think he's doing a great thing, and he's choosing to stand against evil using his platform. Okay, so we looked at both stances. These are the arguments I've gotten from, in some cases, people I personally know. I think Sportdev's thought on this is that when we look at our history as a people, and when I say people, I'm talking about the human race, right? Regardless of your background or whatever. We enjoy certain freedoms today on every continent that we wouldn't have enjoyed these freedoms if certain people or peoples or group of people didn't put themselves in harm's way, didn't pay a price or sacrifice so we can enjoy certain things that we have today. And these people, they're in every society, in every continent, everywhere. If they were quiet and ignored the status quo because of financial losses or physical harm, or both, we would still be under a lot of subjugation, whether that be independence struggles, anti-colonialism struggles, anti-apartheid struggles, just basic civil rights. People stood up and said no when everyone else in society was saying yes. So from a Sportdev perspective, the argument between brave or stupid as it relates to Kyrie is like a debate between selflessness and selfishness. I think it's funny that when athletes have certain community outreaches or visit a school or a hospital where their team plays, they're celebrated as good ambassadors. You hear comments like, oh, he's great on and off the field or the court. As long as these ambassadorial tasks are in favor of the masses or the power brokers in society, then everyone looks upon them favorably and loves these athletes. Or if an athlete from a developing country decides to take a stance against his home government because they're repressive or because they have human rights abuses, then that athlete is celebrated, is put on a pedestal. That same issue is political, but because of his stance or her stance that he or she is taking, they're looked upon as, oh, he's such a great person. He spoke out against that government. We celebrate that person. Right? So that is the case. But if that athlete takes up an issue or takes a stand that the masses or these brokers of power don't necessarily agree with, then it becomes an issue. And now the athlete is either told, shut up and dribble, or they're fined, or they're silenced in other ways. Because there are a lot of ways they could silence them, right? So from a Sportdev perspective, I I believe Kyrie is showing bravery in taking an unpopular stance against something he believes is wrong. You can hate him or love him, agree or disagree with him, but you have to respect his stance. Because he's doing it at great risk to his livelihood. He's already paid the price. He's lost a lot of sponsors, right? Only a madman will take a stance knowing it's going to cost me millions of dollars, right? Could be either mad or brave, right? Because he may get fired and never play in the NBA again. So he's shown a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, whether you agree with him or not. Now remember, bravery is doing something that can cost you great harm, but you do it anyways because you believe in what you're standing for. And that, my friends, is real courage. All right. Sportdev, thanks for joining me. We'll tackle another one another day. All the best.